Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Anubhuti and I love to talk about everything beauty related. I love to do product reviews, I love to get use out of my makeup collection, and I have been dipping my toes into project panning for a couple of years now, but I have started documenting my journey of project panning here on YouTube channel since last year. And I love to do two makeup looks, one palette video. If those are the things you are interested in, please make sure to subscribe before jumping into today's video. As you know from the title, today I'm here with my No Pan Left Behind project pan update for month of July. If you don't know what No Pan Left Behind is, it is basically an eyeshadow focused project pan. So no pan left behind means you have to use each eyeshadow in an eyeshadow palette at least once before you can roll it out. So this is a rolling style project pan. You can choose any number of eyeshadow palettes to work on and use them no pan left behind. I am randomizing 3 eyeshadow palettes this year and working on them no pan left behind before I can roll them out. If I have a rollout, I randomize a new eyeshadow palette in its place and roll new palette in. So that is a little bit about the project. Now let's jump into the updates. And spoiler alert, we have 2 rollouts out of the 3. And also a couple of palettes I did work on no pan left behind. So if you have not checked my last month's update, I have mentioned in my last month's update that from now on I am better at tracking usage on my eyeshadow palettes. So then I am also going to mention the palettes that I reached for and did no pan left behind on that are outside the project. So then I don't want to work on the same palettes again and again because I'm working on a lot of project pans. Some of the eyeshadow palettes are getting used as part of other project pans also. So in order to rotate through my eyeshadow palettes more efficiently, I decided to track usage on all of my eyeshadow palettes that I'm doing no pan left behind. So basically in this project and also out of this project, and also I will mention the palettes that I worked no pan left behind that are not part of this project. So I hope that makes sense. So when we are randomizing the new eyeshadow palettes, I will remove all the palettes that I worked no pan left behind this year so far. So yeah, let's jump into the update. I am going to talk about the palettes in order they were rolled into the project. I started this project back in month of Feb, and yeah, I have been pretty good consistently working on the palettes that were part of the project. So yes, this month is no different. Let's talk about first palette that was rolled into the month of May. By the way, I'm referring to my notes in my laptop, so that's why I'm looking on the side. So then first palette I want to talk about is from Huda Beauty. It is Huda Beauty Wild Jaguar eyeshadow palette, and this is how it looks like. This is quite grungy, green toned eyeshadow palette. I love grungy eyeshadows, cool toned, grungy. That's my vibe. I absolutely love it. I either love lighter toned eyeshadow palettes, and if I love darker shades, I prefer the grungy darker shades, and also cool toned. So then this is perfect palette for me. So then this was rolled into the month of May. Last update, I did not have any usage on this one. This month, I managed to roll it out. I have managed to do no pan left behind on this one. This is also what I have on my eyes today, mixed with another palette, of course. Yes, so I have some thoughts also, because now I have used no pan left behind style. I love this palette. I still love this palette because I can get at least a green toned, a golden toned, and purple toned, 2 different kind of purple toned eyeshadow looks from this palette. What I miss in this palette is a medium toned matte. I prefer eyeshadow palettes that has more metallic shades, shimmer shades than mattes, but I do prefer to have a medium like transition shade, like medium toned. And this is super light, so this is kind of you can use to set your lid, but this is too light for my skin tone to use it as a transition shade. And this is cool tone, which goes well with the purples but not so much with the greens. So I think this misses a slightly skin toned or peachy toned, I would say. Not necessarily warm, but a cooler toned, like medium toned matte. That would have been a great inclusion. I think I personally am not a fan of black eyeshadows, so I personally could do without the black one. And I think instead of black, she could have included medium toned matte. That would have been great. But other than that, I absolutely love this palette. I love that this has 5 metallics, and also this has like no lighter tone in a corner shade, but that's not a problem for me because I anyways use highlighter every day whenever I'm doing makeup, so I can use the same highlighter in my inner corners. By the way, today I think I have this shade on my lid, and this has inner corner highlight, and also I have used this on outer corner. I have used these 2 mattes as well. This matte I have used on my lower lash line. I think, yeah. And I have also used a couple of shades from my other palette, of course, for that mid-toned transition shade. So let's talk about shade by shade usage on this one. So then shade number 1 has 1 usage on it. Shade number 2 has 2 usage on it. This is a matte. This has 2 usage on it. Shade number 3, which is this golden, like grungy golden shade, greeny golden shade, and this has again 2 usage on it. In second row, the shade number 1 has 3 usage on it, then the middle shade has 1 usage on it, and then the last shade also has 3 usage on it. Sorry, 2 usage on it. In the last row, shade number 1 has 3 usage on it, shade number 2 has 1 usage on it, and shade number 3 has 1 usage on it. So, you know, I created one purple tone look out of this palette, and also I created 2 different green toned, greeny golden. One I created greeny golden, and one more of a olivey makeup look out of this palette. So yeah, so far I think I created 3 makeup looks out of this one, and I have managed to no pan left behind this. So then I'm super happy about it. This is rolling out. The second palette that I want to talk about that was part of this project was from Glam Shop, and this is a green toned palette. I'm not going to pronounce the name because this is, I think, Polish brand, and I can't pronounce it. I don't want to just mispronounce it. So this was rolled into last month, which is month of June, because in month of June also I had to update to roll out. So we randomized 2 new eyeshadow palettes last month. So this was the first one of them, and this is how it looks like. This is like a green toned, but a little bit more grungy. So this is how it looks like, and I don't have any update on this one so far. I have not reached for it at all. I was just not in mood for many deep dark shades, and then there were a lot of palettes that had good usage on it and that were part of some other projects, so then I reached for those instead. So this one still doesn't have any usage on it, so no progress on this one. So this is staying in. Now, third and last palette that was also randomized in month of June, and it is part of this project. It was from LH Cosmetics, and this is their shimmer saga quad, and these are 4 special shades. It's called Crush, Success, Love, and Passion, and these are all multi-chromes, like special effect eyeshadows of this palette. This is from LH Cosmetics, which is a brand created by a makeup artist, Swedish makeup artist Linda Hallberg. And yeah, I was so happy that the squad was rolled in, and I absolutely enjoyed it. And yes, I managed to no pan love behind this one because this had only 4 shades. So super excited that I could use it, and I absolutely loved it. I loved every eyeshadow look that I created out of this one. So let's talk about shade by shade update. So shade number 1, which is Crush, I have used, which is like this greeny flip. This I have used 1 time. Shade number 2, I have reached for 2 times. 1 time as an inner corner shade and 1 time as a like topper shade. Shade number 3 and 4, which is Love and Passion. Both of these I have reached 2 times each. So then I think I reached for it a lot of times. I was doing any eye makeup look, I would just want something extra, something jazzy, and I was reaching for this one. So I absolutely loved it. I have managed to no pan left behind, so this is rolling out, but I think I'm gonna keep it in my drawer for some more time because I am enjoying, so I will most likely reach for it more often now. So yeah, another rollout. So then for as part of this project, out of 3, I have managed to no pan left behind 2 of the palettes, which is my Huda Wild Jaguar and LH Cosmetics Shimmer Saga Quad. And 1 palette I have no progress on, which is from the Glam shop. And so this is staying in. So 2 rollouts from that one. But before we randomize any new roll-ins, new palettes, I want to mention, I want to do an honorable mention for the palettes that I managed to no pan left behind outside this project. So let's talk about the first palette that I managed to no pan left behind outside this project, which is from Natasha Denona, and this is the Glam Face palette in light variant, and this is how it looks like. So this was kind of my go-to matte palette, because I mentioned in Huda Beauty there is no like medium tone transition shade, and I think this is perfect shade, which is like neutral, but still it works perfectly fine as my like lid shade or in my crease, and also this one. So then I mostly reached for the mattes in this palette, but I managed to no pan left behind this one as well. For shade by shade usage, I want to mention I also considered both of the face cheek shades, which is blush and highlighter also, and I counted my usage on them as well. So then this has 5 usage on it, blush has 5 usage on it, and highlighter has 6 usage on it. Then for the eyeshadows, shade number 1 has 2 usage on it, shade number 2 has 10 usage on it, shade number 3 has 4 usage on it, shade number 4 has 2 usage on it, and shade number 5 has 2 usage on it. So overall I reached for this quite a lot of times, and this is also, I did no pan left behind outside this project. Now second palette that I want to talk about is from the brand Essence, and this is the brown edition palette, and this is how it looks like. This is also what I reached for mattes, all sort of mattes. So this is a 9-pan eyeshadow palette, 5 mattes and 4 shimmers, but this is a good kind of, this last one is kind of a satiny shade. And I managed to no pan left behind this as well. If we want to talk about the usage, I have shade number 1, 2 both have 2 usage on it, shade number 3 has 1 usage on it, shade number 4 has 2 usage on it, shade number 5 has 1 usage on it, 6, 7, 8 and 9, all of the shades have 1 usage each. And this is really a good quality eyeshadow palette, given the price point. I think it comes around like for €4 or something, but the quality is really good. The mattes are really nice, and then the shimmers are also quite impacted. This was on my chopping block. I wanted to see if it works or not, but so far I'm impressed, and I'm gonna keep it in my collection. So this is another one. So second palette that I managed to no pan left behind outside this project. Now one more eyeshadow palette that I want to talk about is Kiko eyeshadow trio, and this is 02 Beauty Essential Trio 02 Eyes on You, and this is basically a rosy toned trio. This is kind of reminds me of a Kaja bento boxes. So this has 3 shades. I think 2 of them are matte, so one is lighter tone matte, deeper tone matte, and then this is a kind of satiny metallic shade. I managed to no pan left behind this one. I have reached for each of the shades 2 times, but I have some thoughts. So then mattes are too powdery, nothing something like not very unique. It's very, you can see it's very chalky, very powdery. I do like this mauve tone, but I think I do have a lot of eyeshadows that match that particular shade, but this definitely works really beautiful as a blush on me. So it's good for monotone look, but then the most disappointing shade from this palette is this one, Center Shade, which is the only kind of satiny metallic shade, and it's too powdery. You can see there is no, like, it's not even satin, and I love my satins, and this is just too powdery. There is a lot of kick off. It's not a good tone, like good color, it's not very impactful, so I am torn. But this is also what I used No Pan Left Behind. It goes on my chopping block. Probably it's going to be decluttered from my collection. But this is the third palette that I reached for outside the project and did No Pan Left Behind on this one. Now one more palette that I want to mention is from my project Level Up, and this is from my Pat McGrath Labs Beach of Brilliance eyeshadow point in Lunar Night shade, and this is how it looks like. So this is my level 4 eyeshadow palette. I've managed to No Pan Left Behind on this one. I'm not gonna tell you shade by shade usage because I don't want to spoil my update for Project Level Up, which is going to be live after this one. So please check it out once that is updated. So those were all the palettes. If we see, we managed to No Pan Left Behind on 4 palettes outside this project and 2 palettes in this project. So we have 2 rollouts, which means we get to roll in 2 new palettes. I have already updated my wheel and removed all the palettes that I have No Pan Left Behind so far. So let's randomize the 2 eyeshadow palettes that are going to be part of this project from this month onwards. So let me open my No Pan Left Behind wheel, and let's randomize the first eyeshadow palette. Sigma Beauty Enchanted palette. Super nice. I love that palette. So that is going to be the first pick. The second pick is going to be Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey Luxe Squad Bronze Borealis. So that's a smaller eyeshadow palette. So I'm super happy that I got 1 big palette but then 1 quad. It definitely encourages me to work on my palettes, and yeah, of course, it is always good to make some progress. Okay, so let me grab both of those palettes and I will be back. Okay, so I'm back with both the eyeshadow palettes. So the first eyeshadow palette that got randomized for the next update is Sigma Enchanted eyeshadow palette, and this is like, I love the packaging, so iridescent, and then the outer box also looks the same. I took save most of the outer boxes for my palettes. That's the insert. I also like to keep insert, and this is how the eyeshadow palette looks like. It is kind of a spring plus fall eyeshadow palette for me, so I do reach for some of the shades for spring as well as for fall. I love this eyeshadow palette. This comes with a brush, like standard Sigma brush. I think it's E38 and E54. So this is also part of the palette. This is how it looks like, and this has 14 shades. I love this palette. This has also some of the topper shades that work really well. So that is going to be the first palette. That is going to be basically the second palette that will be part of this project from now on. And then the second roll-in is from Pat McGrath Labs. This is Celestial Odyssey Luxe Squad in the shade Bronze Borealis. Yeah, that's the outer box, and this is how it looks like. I got it as a freebie with one of my Pat McGrath orders when I placed an order for the Mega Motherships. So then I got it as a freebie in offer, and this is basically a very basic brown toned, mauvey brown toned quad. So I think it should be pretty easy to reach for, and this is something we can roll out pretty fast. I have used it so far, I think only once or twice, not more than that. So then I'm super excited that this is rolled in and I can make some use out, some visible shift in the eyeshadows. So that is the second roll in today. Just to recap, so then the 3 palettes that I will be working on in upcoming months as part of my No Pan Left Behind project plan is one from Glam Shop. This is a 9-pen eyeshadow palette, green toned crunchy greens, my favorite kind of greens. And this also has some shifty shades, different textures, so I'm excited to play with this one in the upcoming month. So yeah, this is going to be the first palette. The second palette that is also like randomized today is Sigma Enchanted. That will be part of like this project. So this will be the second palette, and this has 14 shades on it. And then last but not the least is Pat McGrath Quad in Bronze Borealis. These are the shades like Lunar Legend, Sienna Rose, Mink, Dusk, and Cyber Bronze. So these are like the shades. So this is a quad, 4 shades. And yeah, so then I think I can have, if I am a little bit more consistent with my makeup, I can have 2 more rollouts next update. But no promises like always. But I'm super happy with the progress I'm making. And also, since I started counting like outside project usage on the palettes, I can see that I'm doing better. Like I have more palettes that I'm using and reaching for, and not just the ones that are part of my project pans. So that is another exciting thing. Okay, so that is it for today's update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. It is a bright sunny day outside, so if my light is off balance, that is why. But anyways, I enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed it too. Have a good day, good night, depending on wherever you are, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.